The Longhorns' big break as a part of SEC brought them ups and downs. All the Texas athletic stats, later in sports. Reporting Texas TV starts now.
Good evening, I'm Ivana Daranco.
And I'm Michael Avalado.
The University of Texas has rebuilt its crossing guard booth after a vehicle crashed into it over the weekend. The incident occurred early Sunday morning at the intersection of 24th Street and Whitus Avenue. Officers responded later to the collision. At 7 a.m., the vehicle contained 4 passengers, one of those being a minor. UT students took to social media platforms over the weekend to express their shock.
I just came here walking today and I saw the whole situation completely ransacked, and I'm just so sorry, and I worry about the driver. I hope he's all right, or he or she is all right.
According to UT, costs and timing of repairs are unclear. Sunday evening, UTPD made an arrest and confirmed neither the driver nor the passengers were affiliated with the university.
On Wednesday, students from Democratic Society held a demonstration at Gregg Plaza in support of Palestine.
The purpose of this demonstration was to demand the university to cut all Israel ties. Our Kendall Washington was on the scene and is now live in the newsroom.
This demonstration was much smaller than what we have seen before, since only 5 students attended. Following the demonstration, the group headed to the tower to deliver a list of demands to UT President Jay Hartzell. Once the students arrived, the director of UT's Readiness and Response team warned students not to go in. Ignoring his request, 2 students made it to the tower and were stopped by the administration and police before reaching Hartzell's office. Before the march to the tower, a member read a letter to the UT president.
We urge UT to act decisively in solidarity with the people of Palestine and oppressed communities worldwide by adopting ethical investment practices and divesting from companies profiting from oppression and
The 2 students who entered the tower are now set to face disciplinary action, but what will happen has not been entailed. Live in the newsroom, Kendall Washington reporting Texas TV.
UT officially suspended a student who was arrested during the pro-Palestine protests last April. Amir Qadimi, a senior at UT and member of the Palestinian Solidarity Committee, was handed a 3-semester suspension for his involvement. The Student Conduct Board said he failed to comply with the university rules. Qadimi filed a restraining order to combat the decision. The order was denied.
The UT Tower restoration is supposed to get underway this November. It comes as a lot of students are gearing up to take senior pictures early. Tate Chapman is live in the studio with more than the story.
The Board of Regents just recently approved $70 million to restore the UT Tower to its original state. I talked to a project manager who says the restoration...
Champagne bottles popping and seniors jumping in the fountain is a reminder of the celebration ahead. But with the scaffolding appearing on the UT Tower in just a few months, photographer Regina Blancas is suggesting to do pictures early.
Anybody who doesn't want to deal with any of the construction in their photos should do it now.
While those who wait may have a different backdrop, UT architecture professor Richard Cleary says the UT Tower restoration is long overdue.
Historians and preservationists some years ago looked at the building pretty closely and identified a number of areas that were just due for critical attention.
The tower will be restored to its original 1937 form. The exterior lighting will be improved, the windows refurbished, the masonry cleaned, mortar joints repaired, and areas repainted.
We're going to be moving counterclockwise around the lower part of the building as we go from now until the end of, or I should say until summer of 2027. But the tower itself, that part from levels 10 and above will start in the summer of 2025. And then that will stay scaffolded mostly until the summer of 2027.
In order to hide the scaffolding, crews plan on installing a decorative covering during restoration. And this is what the tower will look like in 2027.
While the tower is the most iconic shot on campus, some might just have to opt for other places like the big blue doors at Battle Hall and the Moody Bridge.
A lot of people are either going to have to just deal with, me being able to kind of edit the scaffolding, but it's still going to have to be there somehow. But also, I just have to pivot and get a lot of the other spots of the campus in their photos.
The spring 2025 commencement and ring day in just a few weeks will not be affected by the restoration, but the class of 2026 will be the first graduating class to deal with the scaffolding. To learn more about the UT Tower restoration, go to reportingtexas.com. Tate Chapman, Reporting Texas TV.
This year, the Texas Union is taking over as the main on-campus voting location, replacing the FAC. Lines at the Union are estimated to be about 20 minutes to an hour. But that's not stopping students. As of yesterday, more than 12,000 students have voted as the Texas Union. The LBJ school is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. today and tomorrow, and the Union has extended hours from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. for the final days of the early voting. And Texas, not just students are showing up to vote as well. According to the Secretary of State's office, more than 18.6 million Texans are registered to vote, with a turnout of over 33% so far. Harris County is leading in the state with over 800,000 votes, followed closely by Tarrant and Dallas counties. Early voting ends tomorrow, November 1st.
In the campaign's final days, former President Donald Trump's team is attempting to distance themselves from racist rhetoric at a rally Sunday. It took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Former Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk, and others made headlines for crude comments questioning Vice President Kamala Harris's race, one even calling her the Antichrist. But one comedian's supposed joke about Puerto Ricans is spreading like wildfire.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
The campaign said the joke does not reflect the former president's views, and he later called the rally a love fest. Speaking on a Zoom with Latino voters Tuesday night, President Biden said, quote, "The only garbage I see is floating out there and is his supporters." Amidst backlash, the president quickly clarified he was referring to the comedian, not all of Trump's followers.
Kamala Harris is highlighting her differences from former President Donald Trump in preparation for the election coming up next week. The president spoke at the Ellipse in Washington, D.C., the site of the January 6th rally. She accused Trump of promoting chaos and division and emphasized her commitment to unity and inclusivity. The event drew over 75,000 attendees and aimed to resonate with undecided voters.
Incumbent Republican Senator Ted Cruz leads his Democratic challenger Colin Allred by 4 percentage points, according to a New York Times poll released Monday. The poll was taken among likely voters, and Cruz came in at 50% compared to Allred's 46%. Former President Donald Trump's lead in the Lone Star State is wider. He is 10 points ahead of Kamala Harris in Texas. Coming up, a new business on the drag is opening its doors while another says goodbye. Stay with us to find out more.
A new era begins for the Austin FC as the club announces their new head coach. Will take a look at what he has to say and what fans can expect.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father.
Crippling depression, anxiety, exhaustion.
I was in prison and her mom had a heart attack.
There's a lot of institutional issues and challenges that suggest to us that dads aren't essential, and I've always rejected that.
Sometimes you don't have to know everything about being a dad. You just gotta be there.
You talk to. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Texas hospitals will start checking patients' citizenship status tomorrow. Governor Greg Abbott signed an order to collect information on undocumented immigrants back in August. Now, hospitals enrolled in Medicaid or Children's Health Insurance will gather data on the cost of caring for undocumented patients. The order says this won't affect patient care.
A new ranking says Austin is the best college town in the country. An analysis by WalletHub found that Austin beats over 400 cities for college living, grabbing the top spot over cities in Michigan, Florida, and North Carolina. So, what makes a good college town? WalletHub says it's a mix of academic, social, and economic opportunities, and Austin is well-rounded on all those fronts. New stores are coming and going up and down the drag, but what is the new story behind this? Our Emily Trevino went to Goa to find out.
If you walk down Guadalupe Street, you may notice a new business just opened.
We're a company, we do like collegiate apparel. This is our first in Austin, and we're so excited to be here.
Barefoot Outfitters opened a day before the intense Georgia and F1 weekend in Austin.
In the location we're at, we were hoping foot traffic would create like a really positive like sales weekend for us, and it did. We had tons of people in here, lots of sales, lots of just like I said interest, like people popping in and being like, is this new? What's this about? And it was really fun.
Guadalupe Street, also known as the Drag, is laced with tons of businesses that cater to the 55,000 plus residents, mostly students, nearby.
If you look at the traffic patterns when students come across the crosswalk and then they walk back to get to all the student housing back over here, the foot traffic's really heavy.
Even Guadalupe's high foot traffic sometimes isn't enough for every business to last long. Like Torchy's Tacos, seen with the For Lease sign right behind me, will have their last open day of business Tuesday, November 19th.
In a statement posted on the front doors of Torchy's Tacos, the restaurant states they decided not to renew their lease due to planned changes in the area. Others believe it's the rise in rent.
It's expensive, and if you think about a restaurant being that size, those are pretty hefty rents. You got to sell a lot of food to make that happen.
Torchy's has been a business on Guad for 16 years. Customers are sad to see it go.
If it's hard for Torchy's to like stay in business, then how are other like local small businesses going to be able to afford to also plant their business right here?
Barefoot Outfitters hopes to be one of the success stories.
We don't want to be the next one on that list that folds after a year. So just making sure we're doing everything in our power to like really attract business and stay, relevant and connect with the community.
A real estate expert I spoke to said businesses should cater to students, especially with what they charge, and have owners who are engaged with their business in order to last longer in Guadalupe. Live in the newsroom, Emily Trevino reporting Texas TV.
Speaking of expansions, major construction is expected on I-35 this week. The $4.5 billion project will stretch nearly 8 miles from 290 East to Highway 71, removing existing decks, lowering the roadway, and adding 2 non-tolled lanes in each direction. The project aims to improve mobility and safety along the corridor and is expected to be completed by 2028. And it's not just I-35, more construction is expected at Tesla's Gigafactory. Filings with the Texas State Department of Licensing and Registration show plans for an added 5 million square feet. While there isn't much known about the project, it is expected to be completed by late 2025. This comes after CEO Elon Musk's recent announcement that Tesla will manufacture autonomous vehicles called cybercabs.
McDonald's onions were the culprit of 75 people getting injected with E. coli. In Colorado, there was an E. coli outbreak at the beginning of October. It was initially linked to the Quarter Pounders, but the CDC found onions were the contaminator. McDonald's has removed onions from their menu.
Get ready for another weather roller coaster in Austin this week. Cooler temperatures and possible rain could be heading our way.
Halloween in Austin is here to stay for the whole weekend, where you can get a good scare when we come back.
Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Hand washing is one of the best ways to stay healthy all year long.
I don't think it's an accident that I ended up writing music for a living, because I think
I lived in a house where I saw how deeply it affected everyone in the house. And just how much everyone defined themselves by the music they listened to.
Music as a framework, I think, gave my parents my identity from a young age. You can like any music that you want if it makes you feel happy. And now when I hear certain songs, I think of them, and I think of them in their happiest state, and it makes me happy.
If they seem like they're having trouble talking about something, I try to tell them about a time when I felt something similar.
Whatever the issue was, we would tell them the pros and cons and how important it was that they had come to us because we could always help them. I think the real important point, we always told them, no matter what you do, no matter what happens, we will help you through it no matter what it is.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
It's been feeling pretty good outside for Texas. I'm surprised. It's been windy and cloudy compared to our usually blazing hot weather.
Yeah, and I heard it was supposed to rain, but I haven't seen any showers. Also, Mala, you look so good.
Thank you, guys. I am dressed as a cloud for Halloween, but wait till you see me on the green screen. We start off today a little gray with some very light showers, but don't be discouraged. The sun is coming out and we are looking at the perfect trick-or-treating weather. Today, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies. The very warm weather, and the high is 84 and the low is 66. But we also have a little bit of rolling in from the north-northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Parents, as you and your trick-or-treaters get ready, the temperatures will cool down and we'll get to around 78 degrees by 7 p.m. There's a 15% chance of rain tonight, but don't let the precipitation stop you and your kiddos from filling up their baskets. Tomorrow, we are looking at some mostly cloudy skies in the morning and partly cloudy skies by the afternoon. We are starting with a high of 84 degrees and looking to the near 70s by the evening. There is a 50% chance of rain tomorrow night, so keeping an umbrella or a light jacket might just be the safe move. For Saturday, there will be considerable cloudiness with occasional rainfall. The high will be 83 and the low will be 72. Sunday morning, we'll see some more showers and cooler temps. Next week should be about the same. Lots of cloudy skies and chances of rain. It's going to be pretty humid, so short sleeves and an umbrella might serve you best. I would like to apologize for the cloudy weather for the next few days, guys, but hopefully the sun will come out, but not until I take off this very nice costume.
Well, you look super cute.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thank you.
When we come back, it was a tough loss after the Longhorns were knocked down, but they are hungry for redemption. Our Isa Almia brings you all the stats across Texas athletics.
Set your clocks back, Austin. Daylight savings time is here. We'll explore the benefits and challenges of the change coming up.
Do you want yogurt tonight?
Maybe another time. Thanks, though.
Hey, Charles, how do you like your burger?
Ooh, well done, I hope. I love this tree. Hey, honey. When you thought we'd try something new?
Family art hour.
Come on, sit down.
Okay, guys, what do you think? That is you.
Oh, you got jokes. You're funny.
That is you, and that is your son, and your other son. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Women are bad with money.
That's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer
80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Texas's SEC era started strong. Soccer, football, and volleyball have a combined 3 conference losses since the start of the season. Soccer wrapped up the season beating Georgia 1-0 and will be going to Florida for the SEC tournament next week. These are just 3 out of 9 Texas teams currently ranked, with men's and women's swimming and diving with the highest ranking at number 2. A win is a win, right? Despite struggles from the offensive line and numerous penalties, Texas football took down Vanderbilt last Saturday in a ranked matchup in Nashville. The Longhorns' 27-24 win over the Commodores wasn't convincing enough to AP voters, who dropped the team from number 5 to number 6 in the weekly poll. Texas basketball student section, The Corral, hosted an event to celebrate the start of hoop season. With giveaways, team appearances, and free food, The Corral was able to showcase the personalities on the team and get fans extra high for tip-off. Both teams shouted out the student section and thanked them for their support. The players and coaches stayed at Victory Lab to chat with the fans that came out.
We could not do it without you guys. Your support, being in the student section. The women's game has exploded this past year, and we could not do it without you guys. Like, seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. And please keep showing out. Like, when we win, it's because we're a part of that. And I mean, we're pretty good too, just saying. So when you...
Texas women's basketball tips off tonight against UT Tyler, while the men will be traveling to Vegas to face Ohio State Monday. The MLS season might be over, but Austin FC is already making moves for 2025. The club announced former FC Dallas coach Nico Estevez is taking over the role previously held by Josh Wolf since the inaugural season in 2021. Wolf was dismissed in early October after the team finished 10th in the Western Conference.
And I can't wait to start and meet everyone, meet the fans, start working with the players, and see what can we bring to this amazing franchise. Young but intense, and with a bright future. Estevez
will be the second head coach in the team's history. I'm kind of bummed there's no football game this weekend.
Well, the Longhorns deserve a well-rested break.
I agree. Coming up, Austin is set to come alive for Dia de los Muertos this year, with many places around the 512 celebrating and honoring those who have passed with music, food, and culture. Stay tuned.
Pink, glitter, and cowboy hats flooded in for Sabrina Carpenter's short and sweet tour. How fans were riled up Monday night at the Moody Center.
On extreme fanning, let me tell you. Jump and fan. Put your legs up in the air. Fan, 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 fan. Try to keep your balance.
This is so extreme.
Fan yourself. We're bonding a little here. Once we start going into our extreme mode, get your arm steps in, people. You're just gonna burn so many calories. Yeah, do you feel burned?
This was a terrible idea.
You just can't even measure it. It's just gonna go off the charts.
It's an interesting form of exercise.
Being one with the wind, which is the goal of this class at the end of the day.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get that at all.
Extreme fanning. You're gonna work with the wind to get you worked out.
It's kind of weird. I don't know any other way to describe it.
It's the best feeling in the world, guys.
Woo! You don't have to go to this extreme to be a wind fan. Anyone can be a wind fan with Austin Energy. Choose 100% green choice Texas Wind Energy today.
Being the new face of Don't Mess with Texas comes with a lot of responsibility. I think I'm settling in quite nicely. Oh, thanks. Everybody loves me here.
I've worked here for so long, all my life. I can't wait to go home.
Yeah, this is the boss. Oh. No. Get rid of all the trash.
Don't mess with Texas.
I just want to help keep Texas clean. And maybe spice some things up around here.
Let's go the barrel. Let's go the...
I don't know. How are we gonna do this?
Daryl! Somebody give me Daryl the barrel, please. I'll never litter, Joe.
Don't mess with Texas. Means don't litter.
Christian social media influencers make a stop at UT. Cliff and Stuart Kenchto blew up on social media as they traveled around the U.S. promoting healthy debate about Christianity. The duo spent 2 days near the PCL earlier this week, engaging with students with a sizable crowd on both afternoons. Many students were seen waiting to grab a photo after the gathering had officially ended. Sabrina Carpenter's short and sweet tour hit the Moody Center on Monday, and she got right into the country spirit. With a pink cowboy hat and her best Southern accent, she sang a cover of Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. Austin marked her second out of 3 Texas shows, reaching Houston first and Dallas on Wednesday.
Here's what is coming up for Halloween in Austin tonight. There will be a dog costume contest at Market and Meanwhile Brewing at 6 p.m. For adults, there is a fantasy-themed party at Tiny Minotaur at 7, and a spooky haunted mansion bash at Hyperrail at 8:30. Finish the night at Planet K's fireworks at 9:30 p.m. Halloween is not the only holiday being celebrated this week. Dia de los Muertos is being celebrated in Austin starting tomorrow through Sunday. The Moody Amphitheater Waterloo will hold an event which will feature community altars, live art, Latinx art vendors, Calivera face painting, and even a lost pet altar.
Get ready to turn back your clocks once again. Daylight savings time is no more as we fall back to standard time on Sunday. We're going to be getting an additional hour of sleep, but the sun will also be setting earlier than usual. Our days will slowly get shorter with a max of 11 hours of daytime.
Well, guys, you do not have to worry about daylight savings because it won't matter. It's going to be very cloudy and very rainy next coming few weeks.
Good to hear. Thanks for joining us tonight on Reporting Texas TV.
If you would like to check out any of our stories or our newscast, please visit reportingtexas.com. We'll see you next Thursday. Good night.